This is sisters Ashley and Angela.
And this is Sister Rooy. Welcome to Sister Rooy, episode 2, with Ashley and my sister,
Angela.
See, it's awkward.
It is a little weird.
Going second. If you listen to the first intro episode, my introduction is a little funny because it's very short and to the point. But anyway, we left off last episode talking about Angela's baby gender reveal for this pregnancy. And she is having a boy. We are having a boy because I am also having a boy. So it's just a whole bunch of boys up in here for right now. And so I think today we're going to just talk about pregnancy a little bit. What is different this time around, ask some questions, relate to each other, maybe not relate to each other. So, Sister Rooy, have you liked this pregnancy so far?
You know, I think I have. Well, I take it back. The first trimester was a little rough. It's like I completely forgot what first trimester happened or was like in my first pregnancy. You just feel crummy.
Yeah, it is very different having a second child or a second pregnancy with a first child running around. And I mean, I'm chasing mine around. Emma's moving too. She's moving and grooving, so she's got to be on the move. Plus, you watch some other kids occasionally, so you had to be pretty tired in the first trimester.
Yeah, I think what really was obvious this time around was I felt more fatigue than my first pregnancy, for sure, with Emma. But I'd say I don't recall eating as many bacon sandwiches or craving bacon like I do in this particular pregnancy.
That's great. You should definitely write that down in his baby book. And be like, I craved bacon and bacon sandwiches with you. With Ace, I craved chicken quesadillas in my third trimester. I think I had one every night for every last month.
Yeah.
Bless Justin, because he made every single one of them for me.
Wow, yeah. Jake did not make me my bacon sandwiches.
I wouldn't trust him because it's a nostalgic way that we do it.
Oh, true. Well, once I teach him, he would be fine. But either way,
that's true.
You just never know when I'm craving the bacon.
Wow, cravings right now. If anything, it's McDonald's cheeseburgers. I had a lot of those in the first trimester.
Although they actually did sound appealing to me, but I never went for it. I went for the fish fillet.
Yeah, the fish fillet is usually my go-to, and it just does not appeal.
Outside of that, I'd say my perspective going in, I knew second trimester was better, and you just feel better. Most people, I think, you're past the nausea and food aversions. At least for me, I'm like, dang, I feel good in my body. But your body pops more quickly than I did in my first.
I'll look already like I'm in my third trimester.
Yeah, you always had that food baby look anyway sometimes.
Yeah, I can really push out the bloat.
Ashley can. I'll make it clear, that's Ashley.
Yes, Ashley, me, myself. I can really push out the stomach, but there's no sucking in the stomach. Let me tell you that right now. If I suck it in, I have breathing problems because the lungs, I feel like, just get crushed. And again, we're not even in the third trimester, so that's a big difference, I feel like, for me for this pregnancy versus the one with my first son. And just, I feel congested more.
Your inside's congested? Is that what you mean?
Like when I lay down, my nose gets congested, but I can't blow anything out.
That's a thing, yeah.
It all gets inflamed up there, I know, but I had it in my third trimester with Ace.
Oh,
and
so
with this one,
sooner.
it happened sooner.
Ah, yes.
And as Angela stated, I play video games. So in a microphone, when I'm talking with my friends, they're like, Ashley, can you breathe less or less loud? I'm being loud while I breathe, I guess. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm just pregnant and trying to breathe.
Yeah. I think it was a nervous weird feeling about just your body in general. Like,
Angela is very in tune with her body. She will tell you this a multitude of times. So, yes, she is very in tune with her body, and so something growing inside of her.
Can you say it with more sarcasm, please?
No sarcasm. You really are in tune with your body. I believe you.
Yes. So, comparing it to first pregnancy, I did enjoy my first pregnancy, but it's just, if you're a new mom, it's so new. You don't know what the heck to expect. You just hope that everything is healthy and going fine. And I think what you don't expect is your hormones and how your own body is going to react. Because as everybody will tell you, every pregnancy is different. Every body is different. Yep. So you ultimately can't predict. You just hope that you are kind of in the average healthy normal that your doctors want you to be in. And I think what I was most afraid of was just how the hormones would impact me. Because you could hear so many people going in fine, and pregnancy just really gives you, like, more than baby blues. It's the depression, all of this stuff that you don't know how it could hit. And then with the other end of it, people who have had some chronic conditions of some sort, like our sister-in-law, who, like, she felt great, though, in her pregnancy. She's like, I love being pregnant.
Yeah.
So it was one of those things, you were nervous that you just didn't know how your own body was going to react, and you hoped it was going to be fine. So
this is how you felt with Emma during first pregnancy.
Yeah, just slightly nervous, but I think I was really happy that for a really long time, because I was already athletic and doing exercise. Yeah, I was in shape. I was playing ultimate frisbee because it's my new love. So I could play ultimate frisbee at least up until at least 4 months, I think, in, and no one would have even known I was pregnant unless I was telling them. Yeah, but you were walking, though. I knew you were walking in your neighborhood more than typical.
Walks, I guess, but yeah, did not work out. I really took my workout journey after Ace's second birthday, probably. And then now I'm pregnant again, and I kind of fell away from it, but I'll get back into it. I do love a Peloton.
Girl loves her Peloton.
We have a cycling Peloton, even the weightlifting we have. Yeah, I do enjoy a good at-home workout with Peloton. And maybe eventually some of us can ride together.
Maybe. She's been trying to tell me that I would love it, which I probably would, because me personally, I love my cardio.
Yeah, it's the only way I love to do cardio. I hate running with a passion. I hate running indoor. I hate running on a treadmill. I hate running outdoor. I hate it. Anyway, getting back into pregnancy.
I know she hates it because I learned very early on in our childhood, in our neighborhood. Do you know what run I'm going to talk about?
Yes.
I had the bright idea of running in our neighborhood just to a stop sign that was a very perfect distance, typically of being about a half mile, I think.
It's probably doable. And at that point in childhood, I was more in shape than I am now. High school, I just gave up all sports because
No, this would have been a middle school type age.
I would have been okay. I should have been okay. I really just hate running.
Yes, but
our neighborhood went in a circle.
Our neighborhood was in a circle, but older sister, made my younger sister go on a run with me. Somehow talked her into it.
She's talked me into things quite a bit as being the older sister.
It can be quite persuasive, but, talking somebody into running, there are worse things to talk a sister into doing.
Oh, I could say some things, but I will wait for another time.
Anyway, there was one time I talked Ashley into going on a jog with me to a stop sign that was about a half mile away, thinking we could definitely do a mile, running back home. And gosh, I could really feel the hate that run from my sister. And ever since then, that memory has been ingrained in my head to say, yeah, she doesn't love running.
And
she'll run, but she does not love it at all.
And every single time that you would convince me to go on any type of run, because it's not the first time. I also did whatever fundraiser thing in some town. I don't remember what that was.
Scavenger hunt type.
Right, fun in quotations, because you had to run to every location.
Yeah, we didn't do great because our sense of direction wasn't fantastic.
And I hated running. But every single time you were like, just get up to this point, just get up to that point, and had a landmark that I had to try and run to, and it was awful.
I'm such a encourager.
I mean, yeah, you are an encourager.
You might be in better shape, or might have been in better shape at that point in time. Who knows?
Yeah.
You've really maintained.
I picked up cycling because I actually just need to get my cholesterol down, and I need to have cardio in order to do that. And so cycling got my heart pumping, and I really enjoy the instructors and doing it from the comfort of my own home with no one watching me. And so, love Peloton.
You're welcome, Peloton, for that plug.
Yes. Back to pregnancy again. I'm actually one of the people that really enjoyed being pregnant as well. My first pregnancy with Ace. My husband, Justin, would tell you that I am amazing while I'm pregnant because I feel great and I don't complain and I never have any health issues, which is unlike daily life with me not pregnant, I guess. I don't know.
So hold up. That was your first pregnancy.
Correct. Because let me tell you, I feel like I have complained this pregnancy.
Yeah, this
especially
pregnancy,
since I can't breathe second trimester in.
Because I wasn't living next to you for that first pregnancy and I see you so often this pregnancy, I'm like, I don't know, you complain a bit and are you really feeling great?
Yeah, well, I feel like this pregnancy came a little bit with more anxiety too.
True.
And because I do typically have anxiety, and with my first pregnancy, I didn't have any anxiety. And then between my first and second pregnancy, I actually had 2 miscarriages. And so this is technically my 4th pregnancy. And so that does come with anxieties with it as well.
Yeah, I would think.
Yes, but we are past those 2 points for me, and so we are feeling good and confident, and baby is looking healthy. So far, so good. Yes. Almost halfway through this pregnancy, which is crazy, which means you're already halfway through.
I know. Jake, my husband, he said that sometime last week.
Technically,
like, wow, you're probably more than halfway, maybe, because we expect this baby to be born early. Slightly early. Just slightly earlier than 40 weeks.
Yeah, I was saying the same thing to someone. It might have been my son Ace. Just, talking to a 3-year-old. But I think I had said something like, I'm almost halfway through until you meet your little brother. And I was like, technically I could be halfway through because I could deliver at 36 weeks if he were to come early. However, with my first pregnancy, Ace came late. He wanted to overcook in there and was just happy and cozy and warm.
He loved being inside.
Yep, he came a week after his due date. So
I forgot about that.
Yeah, but they say that the second one usually comes faster, so maybe. I was just thinking, some people have their babies, after 34 weeks. I could technically already be halfway there, which is just crazy to think about.
I know. It really solidifies, wow. After you do have a kid, the time really does fly even more.
Oh, yeah.
Was there anything about pregnancy that surprised you?
This time around, I am surprised at how fast I'm popping in comparison. And it's more so just finding the differences between the first pregnancy and this pregnancy. Just having popped earlier, not being able to breathe when I'm laying down, sleeping. I love to sleep on my back, and I cannot sleep on my back, and I am a back sleeper. So that is very frustrating for me right now. But yesterday I got the best sleep of my life.
Really?
So that was really great. Yes, I had some really great sex.
Oh, good for you.
Finally happened because Justin hasn't been feeling well, and Ace was having trouble sleeping, so we were getting interrupted sleep, and so finally it was time, and it was just, yep, good stuff.
Happy for you. Really am.
Really, me too.
Let's see. If I had to say anything that surprised me, I think if I only talk about just pregnancy in general, when it was my first pregnancy, I think the biggest thing that shocked me was the hormonal state. And even just after, when you're breastfeeding, it can continue so long.
Oh, yeah.
Your hormones fluctuating.
I will actually say, based off of my first pregnancy, for one of the surprising details, it's not really pregnancy, though. It's more postpartum, that it took me 2 years to feel back to normal in my body. Like, doctors and everything, clear you after 6 weeks and everything. And some people say to wait to have children, a second child, after a certain point after the first child. But yeah, I didn't feel like my body was back to normal until literally Ace's second birthday.
I feel that. That was probably one of the reasons why when Jake and I were even talking about having a second, we were thinking, I had read somewhere that your physical body takes that long to heal, but then it's just your emotional state too of what the hormones can do to you, where I'm like, I think I'm finally back to normal after my child has weaned off of me. And
Angela is already an emotional person.
Really?
You can wear your heart on your sleeve.
Yeah, I really can.
It's not a bad thing. She feels all the feels.
I really do. I can.
And I can too sometimes. It's just I feel like you really came to a point in the last 5 years or so or more, maybe definitely the last 10 years, where you just really feel all the feels. Or, maybe it was that little gap that I just didn't talk to you for a little bit, and so I don't know if you were feeling all the feels. But
I don't know. But there has been a lot that has happened, especially in the last 2 years.
Oh, yeah.
From having the baby, all the life changes of even moving on top of your own body healing,
losing a
feeling
job.
like you're kind of crazy because you know how you were before you had a baby. You see how it can impact even your own relationship with like your spouse.
Yeah, so many navigational changes for all relationships.
Yeah. And on top of that, I think the other thing that surprised me too was I did not realize there was something else going on with me physically from a pelvic floor perspective, where being my first time healing from delivering and then changing doctors, but me taking a little bit longer to find a gynecologist to even talk to about problems, and is it normal to have painful sex afterwards for, weeks after you are kind of told, hey, you're cleared.
Yeah.
But it's going on a lot longer, pain and whatnot. So there's just so much that you wish that the medical field or your medical team would tell you or help educate women about. At least now, I think whether it's because I'm looking into it or the just culture and society, we've elevated the discussion more about talking about pelvic floor therapy and stuff like that.
When I had Ace, my labor and delivery story is for a complete other time, but afterward, for having a certain degree tear, I think if you're in a 3rd and 4th degree tear, a perineal tear, then you qualify for pelvic floor therapy. And I remember them telling me that I could opt for it, but they definitely didn't push for it or anything. And I didn't have, that I know of, I don't have any pelvic floor issues, but it's definitely, and why'd you look at me like that?
Only things that you've told me prior where I'm like, maybe it would be good to talk to your doctor. Just more the fact that you had painful sex, or had shared with me that you have had painful sex prior, and sometimes that can be like an underlying pelvic floor issue.
Yeah, I mean, definitely true, and I was probably undereducated. I do feel like the sex has gotten better, because like I said, had great sex the other day. But I'm also pregnant, and that changes things too. But even between Ace and this pregnancy, I don't think it's technically painful anymore.
Yeah. All that to say, super strong advocate for women's health, and I really dive into certain things. And I remember when I was talking to Ashley about pregnancy, she had steered me towards the Vagina Whisperer on Instagram. And
we're just giving all the plugs out to people today. Peloton, totally. The Vagina Whisperer. If you don't follow her, though, she's great. And she's coming out with a book.
Oh, is she? Cool. Anyway, so when Ashley had shared that person with me, there were tips about how to prepare for delivery, all of these things. But I hadn't really been educated a ton on pelvic floor therapy. And I was just really pleasantly surprised in my Alabama doctor's office that when I was going through the pregnancy and healing afterwards, one of the doctors in the practice was just like, in the States, they should really make it part of your standard of care afterward.
She's like, this should be something that every postpartum mom has to go to get cleared in that 6 weeks or past that.
Yeah.
She would love that.
Yeah. I would love that too, because from my own personal experience, I'm just like, I went for quite some time. Like I said, when I moved to Florida, it took me a long time to set up doctors that I actually trusted and liked, because I do so much research. But Ashley is nodding her head, yes. So
very particular, this girl.
So real personal here, the sex was painful, and of course, if sex is painful, it's not like I'm looking forward to it all the time. So poor husband and me were navigating this time where it's like you want to do it, but it's painful, and that was not my experience before pregnancy. And all of this still healing in my head.
And you were postpartum still within a year at that point.
Yeah.
And
still
so
hormonal.
You're very hormonal.
Super emotional.
Still breastfeeding, so still hormonal from that.
Still wearing all my emotions on the sleeve, so everybody's getting the brunt of my emotions. Comparing my pregnancy now to where I was healing from my first, I now feel way more educated and armed with what I'll need to do healing-wise after this baby is born.
I was thinking during your pelvic floor rant there that I was also very surprised with because like I said, I felt great during my first pregnancy. I was very surprised that I actually was really motivated my first 12 weeks, 13 weeks, because I redid a bathroom. I was fostering...
Yeah, you really
teen boys
and uber productive.
I wasn't super tired in that first pregnancy, I feel like. But I also didn't have a toddler. I did have 2 teenage boys, but they were at school. And I probably did nap when they were at school. But I still got a lot of stuff done. And yes, as Angela said, I do feel very productive. I might, as my husband would say, create unneeded problems to do, like rearrange my loft, but I don't want to do it once the baby comes, because it's never going to happen. Or I don't want to do it in a month, because then I'm going to be in my 3rd trimester and I'm going to be huge and I can't lift a couch. So I still moved that couch by myself, and it wasn't
You did move that by yourself?
Yes. I pushed it with my feet. It was not hard.
Wow, that reminds me of childhood days rearranging our rooms.
In the middle of the night. But no, just rearranged the loft, and now it looks huge, and my son can run around, and I don't have to run into a couch every night, and I love it.
It does look like a great running space for our kids.
Yeah, you can just run and play.
Play tag.
And it will be great when the second baby is here, because then I can put mats out, and he can just crawl around once he gets to that age, or, stand still, because he'll just be a little blob at first, while Ace just runs around him. I've done a lot more things, too. I got the baby room already ready. None of my bedrooms in my house came with ceiling fans, and I live in Florida, so people are crazy. So I installed ceiling fans.
Crazy in the sense that they did not install those ceiling fans.
Yes, I did have help for the ceiling fans and the painting. I did not do all that by myself, but I was very motivated to get it done, and that was around second trimester, and me being in the clear of everything being good and healthy, and I was like, all right, let's do this.
And she did.
Yep. And I need to paint another room still. And even Dad texted me or called me the other day and was like, so when are we painting that other room?
Oh, really? You remember?
I think I know where I get it from.
Dad is a doer.
Yeah, once I have something set, he apparently just can't let it go either.
That's when he has promised to help that he's like, okay, I gotta get this done now.
I still have his rollers. I think that's really what is making him like, I want those
But what
back.
the heck is he gonna paint?
He doesn't need to paint.
It'll be when I ask him to help paint.
Yes. Just he won't do any edging or trimming or whatever it is with the ceiling and door trim and baseboards. Yeah, so that will be all you and Jake.
Good to know. Is there anything about your current pregnancy that is really worrisome to you?
Not at the moment, but I have my anatomy scan in a month. So we'll see if anything arises from that. But otherwise, based off of my last doctor's visit, she said everything looked healthy and appeared good. All of my worries would have been in the first trimester, getting to a certain point just because of those 2 miscarriages that I had in between. Yeah. Which is why I think I did have anxiety with this pregnancy. Whereas with my first pregnancy, I had no issues and I was naive and I was not anxious at all.
Yeah. I'd say,
even though I know people, I have plenty of friends and I have family that have had loss, and I still, little naive Ashley, for her first pregnancy, I felt great and I just felt it in my bones that everything was okay. So this one, with the 2 miscarriages between, I was definitely like, gotta get to a certain point because I am freaking out in my mind.
I feel like it's only natural.
Yeah. Is there anything that you've worried about?
Before this anatomy scan, if I had answered this question, I think I would have said, I just hope that my hormones are going to not make me as crazy as Jake sometimes says I could be. But let's see here. So I had my anatomy scan last week, around that 20-week period. And during that particular scan, there wasn't anything concerning where the ultrasound tech was saying, need to have a doctor talk to you ASAP or anything. But this doctor's office is different than when I had my first pregnancy, where I would have an ultrasound and then talk to the doctor after. This is like, this practice, they have you have an ultrasound, and then a week later, it's like they give the doctor a week to be able to look at things, and then you still talk to the doctor then officially the following week.
But were you worried about having a boy?
Oh. I don't know if I was worried. It was more like I had a preconceived thought that I loved the idea that Emma might be a sister to a sister. And I think because I love my own sister and we are so close, you can't help but hope that there's that type of a relationship, and it would have been awesome to have 2 girls. But I will say, I think I was definitely having to grapple with the fact that I learned it was actually a boy. And Jake, going into the doctor's appointment, or ultrasound, I said, I'm probably going to cry either way. I'm going to be happy if it's a girl, or I might be a little bummed if it's a boy. And I feel bad saying this. I know I will love my boy when he is born, all of that.
And Emma and him will still have a great brother-sister dynamic. She's just going to sit on him and steal his food.
Beat him up. No. But after I walk out of the appointment. I actually held up really well in the office and did not cry at the appointment. But I'm walking out and I'm behind Jake, who is now putting Emma into our car. And he hasn't even seen my face yet to see that I am actually bawling silently behind him.
Oh, no.
But he just says a comment, "Honey, you did so great in there." And then he turns around and he's like, "Oh," and gives me a hug. So, there was that. So I will say I wasn't worried about gender. It was more like I just already had a kind of idea that, hey, it would have been cool, and you start dreaming things. But now I'm dreaming about girl-boy sibling relationships, so that's fun too.
So you were worried about before going into the anatomy scan?
Oh, about my hormones. Yes. Hopefully this pregnancy and after in the postpartum and healing, that having known how I was, maybe I'll have that type of knowledge to help me reel back how I respond to things. But now, which I will tell our listeners, that I am just slightly worried because my doctor did end up having a call with me to discuss results to say that the baby's heart is just slightly more enlarged than they would like it to be in proportion to the baby's body. So I'm trying not to go down the Google rabbit hole of darkness and potential downside or negative outcomes, because you can easily do that and put yourself into a spiral. So I gave myself 15 minutes to just do some quick Google of some worst case scenarios. And then having had a follow-up conversation with my doctor to kind of help put me at ease, like there's nothing at this moment in time that she can really say is like, yes, you really need to be concerned. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to listen to my doctor. I'm going to listen to my husband, Jake, who is saying, honey, don't go on Google. So I have actually been doing pretty well with that, considering my easy access to the internet, obviously, to do that.
Oh, anybody.
So.
Yeah, that can be a major problem for anybody. You talked to your doctor today then?
Yes. Today I talked to my doctor. She gave me a call back and just asked her all of the questions that I had kind of written down. She mainly said that I asked her about percentages and all of this. Can you tell me how largely out of this average range is the baby's heart? And it was just one of those things she couldn't tell me. She said, it's not really like we can give you a percentage or anything like that, like some conditions.
Yeah.
So it was just more literally based on the body proportion and the heart. One of my questions was, could it have been an error on the tech side, or could it have been just baby position? And she said, absolutely, it could be likely, and that we are really just taking precaution because
a heart is pretty important.
Yeah, but she did say all of the parts of the heart, are there. It's not like there's certain parts that aren't growing. So, I just
eased your mind a little bit.
She totally eased my mind. So I'm like, okay. And that's why I'm like, I can't really worry until I find out with a further scan.
Well, if you were our mom, she would say worrying does nothing good for anybody. That's not really the saying that she says, but it is a waste of your time.
Yeah. So I am actually feeling pretty good about how I have been handling this news.
Fortunately for me, my provider and office is a different practice than Angela goes to, and I get to see my baby a lot. I pretty much have an ultrasound every single appointment, which is really nice. I don't talk to the doctor every single time, but I do get to see an ultrasound, which is comforting.
Yeah, that is not normal. I don't think that's normal.
Some people have it. Our sister-in-law had it, and she's in Illinois.
Really? She was every time, too?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because she told me that she really loved that about her practice. And I said,
I
do love it, too.
I would love that about my practice. But what I don't love about your practice is they don't let the kids, they make it harder on a woman patient because they don't allow their kids to come to an appointment. I understand why the policy can be super beneficial to them and productive. But at the same time, I'm like, that makes it harder on especially single moms. I would be mad. I couldn't go there.
Yeah.
Like, if
Even though
you're
you're not a
making me
single mom.
have to pay a babysitter when I'm already having to pay healthcare that's already skyrocketing and continuing in prices, like, it's just,
Yeah.
I don't love that.
It's not the best. Yeah, it's not the best rule they have, but I do really like my gynecologist and my OB and the experience, and then getting to see the baby on the ultrasound and everything. But if this is my last pregnancy, because I only plan on having 2 kids, then I don't have to worry about it afterward. So I don't have to bring anybody else to, a regular annual checkup.
Yeah, but you'll always have to have a caregiver for your kiddos.
But would you bring Emma to an annual checkup?
I'm just saying, if I was on limited resources and needed to, like, obviously my preference would not, but I don't like the additional potential limitation. That's all I'm saying. But what is most important is that you like your gynecologist. And,
Yes.
And that you can trust them and all that. So there are worse policies, I suppose.
Yes.
What would the husbands say? What do you think was most shocking to Justin about pregnancy for you?
I think it was the fact that I was not a miserable person all the time.
I'm trying to think what Jake would say if there's anything that surprised him about pregnancy.
I'd probably say the hormones and the appetite.
Absolutely. Knowing that we were going to talk about pregnancy, I tried talking with him a little bit, and he made some comment earlier today where he said, I should write this down, and I really should have. But it was something like, before I was ever pregnant, he didn't really think that I could be crazy. And then after having Emma, he was like, okay, she can be a little crazy. All because of the hormones and how I can respond, in the fact that it can seem very irrational. Like, he wouldn't see the logic. So
I have to ask Justin specifically about hormones for me. Because I remember talking with you about our first pregnancies and you being like, was there any time that set you off that was just ridiculous and you knew it? And I only really can pinpoint that one time where all the boys were having a good time and it irritated me. And I went and had dinner by myself and cried over dinner because I was irritated. And that was the only time I felt like we're quote unquote crazy.
yeah, and I think when I found out that was your only story of your crazy, and I'm like, here I am reacting to poor Jake and how he read or interpreted something I said. He would just, I know he kept his mouth shut. Bless him, because he loves me still.
I will say, I feel like I have cried over stupid things more this pregnancy. Like,
Really?
first trimester, I cried over those scrambled eggs. And I can feel my emotions, like the tears welling in the eyes. I can feel it when I need to hold it back.
Oh yeah, when it's burning and they haven't released yet.
Yeah, like I told you at game night, I feel like I just need to cry. Listening to Ace just go crazy bonkers at your house because he couldn't fall asleep. And now he can say mama and dada, like, come here. And he needs to go to bed. And so we let him cry it out for a little bit. He's a great sleeper once he's asleep, but the putting down especially has been hard the last couple weeks. And I think it could just be a 3-year-old regression. But regardless, I was overwhelmed already that day and in an already bad mood, and I probably could have bawled my eyes out just listening to him cry, which sometimes I'm like, sorry kid, you gotta cry a little bit.
Yeah.
And then this time I was like, my heart can't take it.
But you had been in a weird mood that day, the whole day. I think you just needed to have a good cry. Even
and I don't
before
think
that.
I have cried
No.
since then. I'm happier.
But you are in better spirits.
But I had good sex.
That can help. That really.
And there have been a couple more times like that where I'm like, oh, I could totally just bawl my eyes out right now. but I'm in a public setting or with a friend or something and I can't.
Yeah.
Overwhelmed with emotion. And I do feel like that's different for me this time around.
So that's what you would say for Justin, for how he would...
Maybe I was just saying I don't know what he would say about my hormones, because you said that Jake calls you a little crazy. But Justin, mostly I only ever recall him talking about the health stuff over hormones for me.
Yeah. Good old hormones. So we covered a mix of lots of pregnancy topics. If there's anything that you want to learn more about or ask us anything, honestly, we're trying to be an open book of just what honestly comes up in our sister conversations. So
and we can go more in depth about any of this for sure.
Yeah. So
if you have specific questions, you can always private message us on our Instagram. That is pretty much the only, unless you directly know us, then you can give us a text. But our Instagram is sister.rooy. That's sister, sister .rooy for sister.rooy. And again, thanks for hanging with us. This is Ashley.
And this is Angela. It's been fun.